Hello and very good morning, my dear students. Once again, I am very glad to welcome you all to the PowerPoint presentation which I have made exclusively for you. Dear students, can you name me a great scientist of India who was, besides being a great scientist, was a good human being? And besides being a good human being, he was a great statesman as well. Undoubtedly, I know who you are thinking about. He is none other than Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam Sahab. Now, dear students, let's speak on the larger perspective. Let's think on the international level. Can you name me one of the greatest scientists of the world who was also a great human being? And besides being a great human being, he was a wonderful statesman also who tried to bring peace and prosperity in the human life, in the life of public. Can you name him? Just try to think about it. So, today we are going to see the wonderful lesson, A Truly Beautiful Mind. And do you know who this lesson is based on? He is the great scientist Albert Einstein. His beautiful mind we are going to know about. But before going to pay attention to the story of the lesson, let's pay attention towards some difficult words that you are going to encounter here in the story. Destined, that is fate. A predetermined set of events that has to happen in the future. What you call in Hindi, naseeb. Freak, a person with an unusual physical abnormality. ऐसी व्यक्ति की जिसमें शारीरिक abnormalities है, that is a freak. Uttered, spoke. Amateur, not professional. Gifted, extremely talented. Violinist, one who plays the violin. Regimentation, strict rule or discipline. Liberal, that is open minded. Broad minded. LA, a friend or an associate. Philistine, a word used disapprovingly to talk about people who do not like art, literature और म्यूजिक. फिलिस्टीन का मतलब होता है ऐसी व्यक्ति कि जिसको आर्ट यानी कला, साहित्य और संगीत इस क्षेत्र में रुचि नहीं है. ऐसे व्यक्ति को कहा जाता है फिलिस्टीन. Dear students, as this is the part 1 of A Truly Beautiful Mind, we will see some part of this lesson in this first episode, and in the later one we will see the second half. So here there is the summary with the interpretation of the text. The first point is childhood of Albert Einstein. Albert Einstein was one of the greatest scientists this world has ever seen. And you know very well that scientists brought a wonderful change in the human life. And because of their great work only, we are able to enjoy this present life. We are able to have every facility because of the great work of these scientists. And one of them was Albert Einstein. He was born on 14th March in 1879 in the German city of Ulm. He was a German national in the beginning. Later on, when the Nazi party of Hitler came in the power of Germany, at that time Albert Einstein left Germany because he was a Jew national, he was a Jew, and the Nazi party hated Jews. So for this purpose he left Germany and he went to the US and he settled there. Till the age of 2.5, he could not speak, and when he started speaking, he spoke every word twice. So, uh, Albert Einstein, when he was 2.5 years of age, till then also he was not able to speak. But when he started to speak, he spoke every word twice. His playmates considered him to be brother boring, and his mother thought that he was a freak because of the abnormally large size of his head. And his friends, those who used to play with Einstein in his childhood, they thought that he was brother boring. He was a very boring child. And to his mother, he was a freak because he had a big size of his head. उसका जो सर था उसकी साइज काफ़ी बड़ी थी, और इसी कारण की वजह से उसकी माँ बहुत चिंतित थी, क्योंकि वो सोचती थी कि उसकी जो सर की साइज है वो एबनॉर्मल है. शी थॉट हिम टू बी फ्रीक. Otto Nober, the historian of ancient mathematics, told a story about the boy Einstein that he characterizes as a legend. But this seems fairly authentic. Authentic, that is real. यहाँ पर एक कथा, एक बात ऑटो नोबर जो हिस्टोरियन थे मैथमेटिक्स के, तो उन्होंने आइंस्टाइन के बारे में बताई है, जिसके ऊपर विश्वास किया जा सकता है. As he was a late talker, his parents were worried, and as I told you that both his father and mother were worried. वो चिंता में थे उसके माता पिता कि वो जल्दी क्यों बोल नहीं पा रहा है. At last, at the supper table, one night he broke his silence to say, "The soup is too hot." Greatly relieved, his parents asked why he had never said a word before. Albert replied, "Because up to now everything was in order." और जब रात में खाने के वक्त आइंस्टाइन अचानक बोलने लगे अपने 2.5 साल की उम्र में, और वो बोले भी क्या, द सूप इज टू हॉट, सूप बहुत ही गर्म है, तब उनके माता पिता को अच्छा लगा और उन्होंने पूछा, बहुत बढ़िया लगा, उन्होंने पूछा कि इसके पहले तुमने क्यों कुछ शब्द नहीं कहे. तब उन्होंने कहा, बिकॉज अप टू नाउ एवरीथिंग वॉज इन ऑर्डर, अभी तक सब कुछ बढ़िया चल रहा था. सो दिस इज ए लीजेंड अबाउट दिस legendary scientist. Schooling of Albert Einstein. At school, his headmaster regarded him as unintelligent and told his father that he would never be successful. And in school, the headmaster of Einstein told his parents that Albert Einstein was unintelligent. He was a dull creature. He was not good at studies. And he also told his father that whatever the business he would do, he would fail in it. So do you think that the headmaster was right? He was absolutely wrong. He was proven wrong by Albert Einstein in the later years. But he proved them all wrong. At the age of 6, at the insistence of his mother, he learned to play the violin. And when he was a 6-year-old child, at that time, his mother insisted him that he should learn playing the violin. And when his mother insisted him, जब उसकी माता ने उनको आग्रह किया कि तुम वायलिन सीखो, तब उन्होंने वायलिन सीखना शुरू किया उम्र 6 में. Later he became a gifted violinist, and then he became a great violinist. He did not feel comfortable with the strict discipline at the school in Munich, so he left it at the age of 15. And he did not like a strict discipline. He hated it like anything. So he left the school in Munich when he was 15 years of age. So one of the rare pictures of Einstein we can see here on the screen. Einstein, a great violinist. Here with the violin you can see Mr. Einstein. Dear students, do you know at Bonhamas, New York, an auction was done of the violin which was played by Einstein on 10th March 2018. Do you know how much of the amount did it fetch? You will be surprised to know that it brought 5,16,000 US dollars, and in Indian currency the money goes 3 crore 85 lakh rupees approximately. So in this way, here we saw that he also had the quality of learning music. Einstein at the university at Zurich. So he left the school at Munich because he did not like it. He did not like the strict regimentation, the strict rules and disciplines of that school, and when he was 15 he left it. Then where did he join? Pay attention. He joined at the university at Zurich. On completing his schooling, he joined the university at Zurich because the atmosphere there was more liberal and accepted new ideas and concepts. Why did he go there? Why did he go at the university at Zurich? Because the atmosphere there was more liberal. It was not strict. It was not strictly disciplined, where he had the opportunity to express himself freely, and that's why he went to Zurich. He showed more interest in physics and mathematics, and these couple of subjects he loved more than the rest of the subjects, and they were physics and maths. ये दो जो विषय है एल्बर्ट आइंस्टाइन के काफ़ी चहेते विषय थे. He met a young Serbian fellow student Miliva Meric at the university, whom he found to be a clever creature. And at the same university, he met Miliva Meric. वहाँ पर एल्बर्ट आइंस्टाइन की मुलाकात मिलिवा मेरिक इनसे हुई, जो सर्बिया इस देश से आती थी और उसी कारण की वजह से उनको सर्बियन कहा गया है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, वी लिव इन इंडिया सो दैट वी आर इंडियंस. द पीपल दोज लिव इन अमेरिका दे आर अमेरिकन्स, and the national who belong to Serbia they are Serbians. So here Miliva Meric, who came from Serbia, also learned in that university where Einstein learned, and Einstein thought that she was very clever. He even shared his ideas regarding relativity with her. And about the relativity, what is this relativity? This is the relativity what we call, or what Einstein said, the theory of relativity. और यही theory of relativity है कि जिसने आइंस्टाइन को महानतम वैज्ञानिक बनाया. He shared his thoughts regarding this theory of relativity with Miliva Meric. Later on, they married in January 1903 and had 2 sons, but unfortunately their marriage did not survive and the couple finally divorced in 1919. तो 1903 में उनकी शादी हुई और 2 सुपुत्र भी हुए उनको, और तत्पश्चात दुर्भाग्यवश उनकी शादी ज़्यादा दिन टिक नहीं पाई और 1919 में उनका तलाक हो गया. Here you can see Albert Einstein with his wife Miliva Meric. At the patent office at Bern. After the completion of his education, Albert worked as a technical expert in the patent office at Bern in 1902. Here he worked secretly on his idea on relativity. And the patent office where Albert Einstein was working, he was going through the scientific research papers of other scientists, and while he was going through their papers, he was also developing his own theory of relativity, and he was developing it secretly. In 1915, he published his paper on special theory of relativity. So, in 1905, he published the theory of relativity, and even in 1915, he published the next phase of the theory of relativity. It is here that he was developing his ideas, which is why he called his desk drawer at the work as Bureau of Theoretical Physics, जहां पर डॉक्टर आइंस्टाइन काम कर रहे थे। वहां उस ऑफिस को उन्होंने ब्यूरो ऑफ थियोरेटिकल फिजिक्स ऐसा अपने मजाकिया तौर पर कहा। क्यों कहा? वाई डिड ही से दैट द वर्क प्लेस वेयर ही वॉज वर्किंग, ही कॉल्ड हिज डेस्क ड्रॉवर एज द ब्यूरो ऑफ थियोरेटिकल फिजिक्स? क्यों कहा? क्या कारण है? बिकॉज देयर ही वॉज असेसिंग the papers of other scientists, and while assessing the papers of the other scientists, he was also developing his own ideas, and that is why he called the desk drawer in a comic manner. मजाकिया तौर पर उन्होंने कहा कि उनको वहां पर ब्यूरो ऑफ थियोरेटिकल फिजिक्स दिखाई दिया। क्यों? क्योंकि there were several ideas he was able to gather from the work of the other scientists as well. In 1905, he presented to the world his special theory of relativity and gave the world famous equation E is equal to mc square. और बहुत बड़ी जद्दोजहद के बाद, बहुत कड़ी तपश्चर्या और मेहनत के बाद 1905 में एल्बर्ट आइंस्टाइन ने दुनिया को एक थियोरी दी, और वो थी द स्पेशल थियोरी ऑफ रिलेटिविटी. इट ब्रोक ऑल द प्रीवियस ग्राउंड्स ऑफ साइंस and he gave the equation to the world. This is the world famous equation, and what is it? E is equal to mc square. Here E means energy, m for mass, c for the speed of light in vacuum, and the speed of the light is 3 lakh kilometer per second. Relativity defined in the simplest way. What is the theory of relativity? The theory of relativity, Albert Einstein has explained here in the simplest way. What he says is, according to Einstein, when you sit with a nice girl for 2 hours, it seems like 2 minutes. And when you sit on a hot stove for 2 minutes, it seems like 2 hours. This is relativity. So, according to Einstein, the time was relative. The time was not absolute. The time was relative. So, according to him, time is the third dimension. Time is the fourth dimension. You know 3 dimensions: height, breadth, and length. And apart from that, the fourth dimension is time. And according to this great scientist, time is relative. For example, जो चीज़ आपको करने में आनंद आता है, for example, if you love to watch your favorite TV program, at that time for hours you sit in front of that television set, and even after sitting for hours in front of the television set, you think that they were just a few minutes. But when you are told the activity which you don't like, when you are asked, when you are forced to perform that activity, at that time, even if you spend a few minutes in performing that activity, then you think that it was so much of time. Those were so many hours that you spent on that activity. Why? Because you disliked it. And the activity which you liked to perform, even if you spend many hours in that activity, still then you don't think that you spent much of the time. You enjoyed that time. So the time becomes relative. So here there are a few questions that I would like to ask you on this lesson. Why did Einstein's mother think that he was a freak? We have already discussed it, and I think you should be able to answer this question. Second question: what was the opinion of Einstein's school headmaster about him? Do you agree with him? Third question: why did Einstein join a university at Zurich? The fourth question: why did Einstein call his desk drawer as at the work as Bureau of Theoretical Physics? And the fifth question and the last question here in the presentation is, what formula of the theory of relativity did Einstein give to the world? I think this could be a very simple question for you to answer. So in this way we have discussed the first part of the story, A Truly Beautiful Mind, and in the next part I will come with more facts and figures of Mr. Einstein. Till then, stay tuned. May the Almighty God bless all of you. Thank you very much.